Hi, hello to all my kings and queens. Welcome back to Life with Gollywood. And today we have a new episode of Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about it. Ooh, let's talk about it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the last episode, or the last actual episode, I ended it talking about my hair company called Steph Expression and just why I started the hair company and how that kind of fits into my nonprofit and stuff like that. But I wasn't trying to get into that whole topic because it's a lot to get into, and I wasn't trying to overwhelm you guys with everything that I talked about already in that video. So we're gonna be starting fresh today, okay? Fresh like Brodo fresh, okay? I entitled today's conversation, Everybody Wants to Help Africa Until It's Time to Help Africa. I'm gonna say it one more time for the people in the back, okay? Everybody wants to help Africa until it's time to help Africa. And to get into this, I'm gonna start by talking about why I decided to start going into the nonprofit route, and the initial reactions that I received from a lot of people. Ever since I came to the United States, I've always been interested in the disparities between the education system in Ghana and the United States. What made the education here of quality compared to what we had in Ghana? And what I started to notice was literally the investment in the infrastructure. That was the only difference, because back home we are as smart as Americans, but we're not seen so because of the environments in which kids are getting educated. When I first came here, they tried to take me a couple of grades back simply because I came from Ghana, but my dad was not with it. My dad put his foot down. Like, she did not go to no regular school back home in Ghana. I was paying dollars for her school fees. Therefore, she deserves to be in the same grade as all these sixth graders. And it's funny because when I did end up in sixth grade, I was already ahead. Everything that they were being taught, I've been new from Ghana. So that kind of helped me realize that, so it's not more so whether these kids are smart or not. It's just how the education system is being portrayed, and the access that these kids have is the only thing that's making it seem like the American system is better than the African system. So deciding to start a nonprofit in 2016, I knew that I wanted to help with the investment in the education system in Ghana, but I did not know how, what to do, or anything. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna build a library. Don't ever do that. One thing I learned from being an international relations major was the fact that before you decide to do any project anywhere, please make sure that you visit your site so you can see the needs of these people. Don't sit across the world on some, oh, I think they need this, so I'm gonna do that. No, that's not how it works, because half the time that's not what they need. Me deciding to build a library was kind of, it was part of the process, and it wasn't smart of me because there are numerous of libraries around me in the Bronx, in New York, but I don't go to it. I went and visited my dad's village where I decided to build this library, and I realized that they did not need a library. After I kept talking to the kids and the teachers and everything, I realized that what they needed was the support to keep going, because the government was not taking care of the teachers or making sure that the students had school supplies, or the schools were up to par with infrastructure and stuff like that. The government was not making sure of that, and it seems like that's what was needed. So I decided to forget all about this library and invest in my country by helping with school supplies or donations here and there, whatever that I can. What I was not gonna do was wait until I was, I guess, comfortable enough to help, because they didn't have time for me to wait till I was ready. That's how I had to think of it, because everybody I told, oh, I'm trying to do a nonprofit. Yeah, I want to do a nonprofit. The first question is, how are you gonna make money out of it? I don't know. The second statement that came after that was, don't you think that's something you should do when you're older? I think this was when I was like 19 or so. So a lot of people were just like, girl, maybe you should wait till you're older. But in my heart, I just knew that these kids couldn't wait till I was older, especially after I visited Ghana and had the chance to speak to the students and ask them what they wanted. I'm not sure if I said this, but I went to Buffalo State College and I majored in international relations with a concentration in sustainable development. Sustainable development mainly because I want to dedicate my life to finding sustainable ways for developing countries to thrive on. I don't want to just go there and build something for somebody and then that's it. I want to help them learn how to build their own buildings and, their own farms and stuff like that. I want to invest in projects as such so I can help them find sustainable ways of living, because doing little things here and there and then coming back is really not doing anything for them. And I'm saying this from a first-hand experience, because I did go to school in Ghana, and I will have missionaries visiting my school and donating books and stuff like that. But to them, they felt like they did something good for us. But for me, it just always resonated in my mind, like, why is it that every time we get some nice school supplies or we get something nice, it's from somebody who felt the need to do something nice for the Africans? Like, why isn't the government making this a regular? Why is it that we have to wait till somebody has a good day in order for us to get some new school supplies and textbooks and stuff like that? So that's something that just never sat well with me as a child. So having this experience, I had to implement that in the way I was willing to run my project. So now fast forward to last year, 2019, I decided to have a talent show called Giants of Tomorrow Talent Showcase. And I decided to have it because as a creative, I believe in the creative capacity of Ghana. The creatives in Ghana are mad. All types of creatives, from dancers to graphic designers to anything, musicians, whatever. They are wavy. So I decided to have this talent show because eventually I would like to build my own performing arts school, but before that I want to still invest in the talented youth in Ghana. So I felt like having a talent show will be appropriate and will encourage creatives even in small villages and towns to still keep hope and in their dreams of becoming a creative as a profession. So having this talent show, I wanted all the creatives in Ghana to come together to put together this talent show. You know what? Before I get into that, Giants of Tomorrow talent show planning. So I hit up a bunch of creatives, musicians, artists, bro, name it. And I planned from like August because I wanted this to be great. I hit up schools to see if I could use their auditoriums and all these things, but guess what? Nobody wrote me back. Like, I swear to y'all, like, everybody that I felt like was doing something for the African culture, I reached out to them. I'm not gonna name no names now. But all the poppin' people on Instagram who talk about how much they're doing for the creatives in Ghana, I hit them up, I DM'd them, emailed them several times. I got nothing from them. And I'm seeing these people post on Instagram, still posting paragraphs about what they're trying to do for creatives in Ghana and Africa and how we need to cherish creatives back home and all this. And in my head, I'm like, and y'all still not even replying back to my DMs? Like, because it's more so on some, I ain't asking for your money. I'm not. And I'm not asking for your presence either, but I understand your influence. I understand and appreciate your influence, and I feel like it would do something for what I'm doing right now. So even if you just shared a flyer, that would have done a lot for me, because you have a bigger crowd. So therefore, somebody else in Ghana might see it and be on some, oh, let me hit her up and see how I can help. But none of these people thought of it like that. Literally everybody I wrote ignored me, is what I'm gonna say. And to be honest, I was hurt, but I'm not a bitter person. I still like to show love, because again, I'm not gonna depend on y'all to make my dreams come true. That's on period. So I just buckled up and I just planned it as though I was doing everything by myself. I hit up a couple of friends that can help judge. Like, it was literally my friends that held it down for this, like flying from the States to Ghana to be judges type shit. So like, that's why I'm like, yo, don't ever depend on nobody but yourself, bro. Like, or your close people around you, or people that you trust. If you put your dreams in the hands of these Instagram niggas, they will leave you astray, bro. They will leave you astray. Like, just do what you gotta do. So moving on, I went on and I still figured it out, like the money, the prizes for the winners and stuff like that. Oh, my friend Awa, who's also the founder of All Star, donated something also. So like, you guys see what I mean? It was literally my friends that was helping out, but that was the only donation I got, one from my friend. Everything else was out of pocket, and I didn't mind, because this is something that I want to do, and I believe in the capabilities of these kids, so I didn't care. So I still kept planning what 200 plus schools and school supplies, so I could donate it at the talent show and at my dad's village that I initially started at. I always make sure I go back, because like I said, I know how it feels for someone to just come one time and never come again, and I don't want them to feel like that. So I always make sure I go back and do something for them when I go back to Ghana. So I planned everything ahead of time, and I was in the States, so I had my cousin trying to get everything together for me. And that's kind of where I messed up, by going only 2 weeks before the show, because I felt like my cousin was helping out, so that was good. But I didn't understand that this is not my cousin's nonprofit. So my cousin was not, printing out flyers and going around spreading the word and stuff like that on her own, because again, it's not her thing. Like, yeah, she was helping me find venues and people that can help us, like MCs and stuff like that, but really putting in the work, she wasn't really doing that, because again, it's not her thing. So I don't blame her, but I still appreciate her a lot for all that she did. Because then when I got there, that's when I was like, oh shoot, like, again, where are we having this? Like, we didn't even have a venue, anything like that. So when I got there, that's when I was able to, buckle up and get to the bag, and did what I had to do. Again, because it was my thing, I was more boom, boom. I literally had like 3 days to put together a whole talent show. And that's what we have to understand too. If you're doing something for Africa or a developing country, it does not matter how many times you put on Instagram and stuff like that. These people back home do not have Instagram, so they're not seeing your posts, they're not seeing your flyers, none of that. You have to go out into these communities and actually speak to them and tell them about your stuff. So, I had 3 days to buckle down and get it together, but I didn't care. Like, I was tight, but I was like, nah, this was gonna happen by force, by fire, by force. Like, nobody's telling me nothing. And it happened. Literally, the whole block showed out. It was freaking amazing. I'm gonna put little clips in here, but it was amazing. And it reassured me again that only I got my back. Like, nobody got my back like I do. Because if I depended on these people that I felt like had more influence and will have a better outcome if they were on the event too, like, I would have had no event. But because I was just on some fuck them and still believed in my capabilities, it all worked out. And this kind of also goes into what I said in my last video regarding Chadwick Boseman and his death. One of the 2 key points that I took was not letting your struggles define you. I didn't let none of the bumps in the road define me. People not writing back, me not having a venue, not knowing who was where or what, like a couple of days, like, it didn't matter, because I knew with my God, anything is possible. So another hard pill I had to swallow with this one is that everyone wants to help Africa until it's time to help Africa, even Africans. if one wants to start on the route of starting their own profit from the ground, I will advise you just to really want to do it, because it's not easy. Like, my nonprofit is still not even at at like 5% of where I want it to be. But I am not going to give up, because I believe in my mission. I believe in my mission and my vision and the capabilities of the people that I am helping. That's why I'm so dedicated, because I feel like it's not their fault. And with the right help, kids will be excited to want to get an education. It's like, it's not their fault. Kids don't want to get an education. It's not the kids' fault. It's the government's fault. Why? Because when you go to school, there are no jobs available for you. There is not. My sister has a college degree, but she was working as like a receptionist from a job that a family friend put her onto. So it's like, what's the point of getting, an education or anything? So it's like, because of the infrastructure of our government and the way that they ignore the education system, now like the people are starting to give up on getting an education, which is not okay. Because as Africans, we are far back mentally. And education is what we need in order to free our minds and our souls and just ourselves in general. So by dedicating my life and my Sankofa Afro project to the empowerment of the youth to get an education, I hope to be a positive influence in the youth of Ghana and the education system for creatives also. The way that I also came to kind of settling on what I want to do for the rest of my life was that I know I love to dance, I know I love to create, and I know I'm passionate about education reform. So when I can't dance no more, what do I want to do? And my answer to myself was, I want to help and motivate the youth of Ghana to pursue a higher education, because I feel like that's the only way we can ever free ourselves. With this realization, I began to be content with the struggles that I'm going through. I began to understand that this is just something I'm gonna have to go through in order to get where I would like to be. Because if everything just started off peaches and cream, I wouldn't be having this conversation with y'all. And that's why we also have to trust the process. That's what I'm learning to do as a Christian. Learning to trust God's process. Sometimes you might watch somebody like, oh my God, why they just started their business or their whatever and it's already flourishing, but I've been doing this for like 2-3 years now and I'm still dealing with BS. And it's like, the BS just means that your story is gonna be better, point blank period. And once you start to walk with that mindset and just be focused on your journey, I feel as though you will begin to not live a better life, but you will begin to learn to love the journey. I want my nonprofit to be my job, to be what I do, traveling around the world, helping developing countries and stuff like that. So my thing was, how am I going to support this nonprofit? How am I going to do this? I know I love to do hair, but already my fingers be giving up on me and my shoulder and stuff like that. So it's like, girl, you gotta kind of figure this out. Like, I love hair. Y'all can tell already. Like, my hair is my crown. If my hair is not done, I am not done. I don't feel good. So I'm like, since I love hair and I love to do hair, why not start selling wigs? But what this business is going to do is sponsor my nonprofit. I want my hair business to sponsor my nonprofit. So even if I can't physically do hair no more, I can sell wigs, and wigs will be something that will always be in style. So therefore, my nonprofit has a long lifetime sponsor, which is Steph Expression. And with my dancing, I don't want to stop dancing now, because I have to prove to these kids that yes, you can be a creative and still be something in life. So it's like, how do I look if I give up on my dance dream and I'm over here preaching to them like, oh, you guys must believe in yourselves as creatives, even if your family is telling you dancing or being a musician is not the way to go. You guys have to stand in your truth. Like, how can I say that and be doing the total opposite? Nah. So I'm gonna keep dancing for as long as I can, so I can be an epitome, and I can kind of set a precedence for kids back home, or the generations behind me, so when they see my story they know that they can make it, and so on. So that's it for today's video, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you're thinking about starting a nonprofit, just remember that nobody owes you anything. If you go into it with the mindset that somebody owes you something, that people owe you donations because you're doing something good, listen, you're gonna be hurt. You're gonna have a hard ride. But once you learn that hard truth from the jump, it will be easier for you to accept the disappointments that will come along the way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do not forget to subscribe and like and share and comment, so we can continue to talk and have conversations about this topic today. Yes, so bye.